Hello and welcome back to CNN Newsroom from CNN Center in Atlanta. I'm Jonathan Mann, and we are following a major story out of the Philippines. A major storm, a super typhoon barreling across the Central Islands. The storm is, well, it's a beast, and it is putting a lot of people in danger. Super Typhoon Haiyan packing winds of more than 300 kilometers an hour. The big worries are flash flooding and mudslides and landslides and the damage that wind can bring as well. Tom Sater is following the path of Haiyan and joins us now. What are you seeing?
Jonathan, the members of the CNN World Weather Center are about ready to make a very strong statement. Based on the winds, as you see here, we know this has been the strongest of the year, and we know it's been one of the strongest in recorded time. But based on the winds and the last advisory from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, if the system did not weaken at landfall, which we believe it did not weaken, most likely Haiyan is the strongest tropical system based on the winds to ever make a landfall anywhere in the world in recorded history. Now, it's going to take some evaluation. There'll be weeks, and they're going to be studying this. Meteorologists around the world will study this storm for weeks. But we can pretty much safe to say, based on the winds, this could be the strongest we've ever seen. The eye making its way now very close to the heavily populated area, city of Tacloban City. Again, 221,000 live there. You can see the eye as it's passing just to the south of the city. We get in a little bit closer, and you can start to see we had some winds at 155, but the strong winds over 300 kilometers per hour most likely will not be recorded because the anemometers that record winds break in winds that strong. I want to take you and show you the latest on the radar. This is out of Cebu, which, by the way, down to the south and southwest is about 2.6 million in capacity as far as their population. Here is right here, this little finger here, here's the hand. This is where the city of Tacloban City is. This is where Andrew Stevens is. They are just within a few kilometers of the eye. Most likely, they will not experience light winds. In fact, they're in the strongest winds that this typhoon will provide. They're in just the wrong area right now. When you have a circulation with an eye making landfall as it makes its way in one of this magnitude, this is the area of concern in that northern quadrant as the system moves from areas of the southeast up toward the northwest. Because he is not in the eye, he will not have the light winds. He will not see the sunshine, which is most likely occurring inside the eye wall. There may be birds flying around. But on the exterior, he's in some blinding rainfall right now, and the amounts will continue to be quite heavy and staggering. Notice the convective activity as it wraps around the eye wall off toward the southwestern flank down to the south. We're going to continue to see this make its movement across one populated community after another. It's going to take a while before it makes its progression and makes its way all the way through. About 18 hours, maybe only about 16 now. But this is the area of concern for all the cities and the communities that it will pass by. The other factor is, what else can we compare this to? Super Typhoon Bhopal. 1,900 people lost their lives when Super Typhoon Bhopal moved in to Mindanao. It was the first super typhoon. It was last December. 216,000 homes were either damaged or destroyed as this young girl went to look for water. They had no running water, no electricity for 10 to 11 months in some cases. Thousands lived in shelters. Here is what we're looking at and the progression of the storm. We did not see the storm weaken. In fact, it's unfathomable the strength that it continued to keep as it moved across the warm waters. Typically, we'll see the eye start to wobble. And watch what happens. As it makes its way into South China Sea, notice how it starts to wobble. Typically a sign of what we call an eye wall replacement cycle. Maybe it's losing some strength. After that little wobble, it picks back up again and will continue to be a powerful storm moving toward Da Nang in Vietnam. The winds, notice the color of magenta. These are strong wind gusts over 180. So it's not just the winds, Jonathan, the rain. It's the threat for mudslides. Again, nearly 25 million people in the path for the next at least 16 hours.
Tom Sater at the Weather Center watching the storm closely. Andrew Stevens is also watching at about 600 kilometers southeast of Manila in Tacloban, a city that is now just about getting the worst this storm has to offer. What's happening around you, Andrew?
Jonathan, the intensity seems to have leveled off at a very, very powerful pace in It is taking still on the third floor of this hotel. It's very sensitive. But I've just done a quick look around the floors, and the staircases are now waterfalls heavy number there. You look outside and you search for whiteout now. All you can see is just the immediate scenery, which is, I was looking at the time for it. But this is now a whiteout. We are mostly, as I understand it,
Andrew Stevens on the line for us live from Tacloban, and I want to just share with you why the audio was the way it was. Andrew is talking to us from inside what may be the most powerful storm ever to make landfall in recorded history. That's the word that we have from our Tom Sater and our meteorologist here at the Weather Center. Typhoon Haiyan, you can see on the map, is enormous. It is basically dwarfing the entirety of the Philippines. It is moving over the Philippines, and as you can see, that little blue circle is the eye of the storm making its way really within walking distance of Tacloban. And I say walking distance, no one is walking. You can look at live pictures there provided by our affiliates. That is what is happening in Tacloban right now. This is a city of 200,000 people that has not been fully evacuated. In fact, it's fair to say that of the 25 million people in the storm's path, really only a fraction have been evacuated, because where to take people who live on an island, where to take people when moving to higher ground will expose them to even more wind. And so a great many people are sheltering as best they can as this storm moves across the Philippines. As we've heard from Tom Sater, it has hours to go before its deadly work is done. We are following it very closely, and once again, Andrew Stevens was on the line with us, reporting quite bravely from the front line of that storm. But the audio, the fact that we couldn't understand him, just one more testament to just how powerful that storm is. Technically, it is a tough place to report from, and just physically, it is a very dangerous place to be. We want to bring you another